We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good.
On LA Talk Live. Let me try that again. Hello and welcome to La La Land on LA Talk Live. I'm Brett Chapin. Thanks for joining us on La La Land. This is the only nationally broadcast show by Los Angeles artists about Los Angeles artists. Another week on La La Land, and we have with us three amazing guests. But before I even get to them, I am going to introduce our guest co-host and co-host search finalist number 2, Katie Sabira Rubin. Hey, Katie.
Hi, how are you? Oh, applause for me.
We get sound effects on this show.
Nice. Hello.
Hey, Katie.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
So excited.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
You are one of the 6 co-host search finalists who was kind enough to send us a submission video, and you want to be a co-host on La La Land.
I do. I have a question for you about it, actually.
Yes.
I'm turning the tables right away.
Please.
How many people submitted?
A lot.
A lot. Okay.
A lot.
Like 12?
We were gonna have 5 co-hosts, do a top 5, but there were so many people that I just couldn't do 5, so I picked 6
Oh,
co-hosts.
that's nice.
Yeah. And the 6 of you, it's interesting because you each bring something unique to the table. You each bring something interesting and different that the others don't. And I want to ask you, what do you think would make you a great co-host on La La Land?
Well, Brett, as you and I have discussed off air,
Yes.
This sort of opportunity showed up in my email box very serendipitously right at the time when I was starting a podcast of my own that is of a very similar nature to what you're doing. I have a deep passion for communicating with, connecting with, understanding other artists and knowing what people are doing, why they're doing it, what keeps people going in the arts. As so many of us are aware, as artists in the world on Earth trying to earn a living and eat dinner, it's a thing. It's an undertaking. It's a big deal.
Definitely.
And I just think it's very important that we stay together, that we connect with one another, that we continue to have open dialogue about how we're doing what we're doing, so that, there's a sense of community formed and a sense of unity amongst artists. So I started a podcast of that nature to interview artists in LA about being an artist in LA, because also as a touring performer myself, I've met a lot of artists in a lot of different states and a lot of different countries, and it's a very different animal to be an artist in LA in particular. So when I moved here just a couple years ago, my heart sort of lit up around the issue of how do we create unity amongst ourselves here in LA, where, as you and I have spoken about before, things can be so self-driven and self-centered and self-focused. How do we create a sense of teamwork and unity and community amongst artists? So when this opportunity came, it just felt like, sort of divine timing in my perspective, because I've
Awesome.
been, exploring the issues myself. So
You've already been doing it, kind of.
yeah.
And you said you've been in LA for 2 years now?
I have.
Where
From?
from?
I moved I was living in the Bay Area and Sacramento for a good 6 or 7 years after grad school. I went to grad school at UC Davis.
Uh-huh.
And then I did a bunch of theater, professional regional theater in Sacramento and in the Bay Area. And I have been touring my solo comedy shows for 10 years now. But I was based in those areas. And moved down here about 2 years ago.
Okay. You like LA? It's working out well for you?
I'm oddly in love with LA. And I only say oddly because coming from Northern California, you get a lot of poop.
Yeah.
from the other humans.
You can say shit on this show.
You just did.
Yeah, I know.
And now the doors are open, Brett.
Uh-oh. I just had to do it once. I haven't done that on this show yet, so since we've been here. But
It's exciting.
Yeah, I know.
It feels a little naughty.
good stuff.
Yeah, I like it.
So you think you bring to the table something different? What you bring that's different is that you want to bring a sense of community.
Yeah,
To
seeking sense
LA
of community.
Odyssey.
Also, I'm sure that you don't have any other female applicants who are anywhere near as funny as I am. So there's that.
Well, I'm neutral. I'm like Switzerland, so I can't really state an opinion on that.
I understand.
But yes,
I'm just putting a presumption in the air and let it hang.
right.
Yeah.
We'll see
So
what
there's
happens
that.
with it. Nice.
I don't know. I also just think I want to have a good time, and I think we could have a really nice. I like, my thing is about depth and fun together. That's actually what all my shows are about. I like to take people to really kind of drink the deep waters, but then boop, pop them up to the fun town village, because I'm into the balance of those two things. So I think if you
Right.
take people too deep for too long, you lose them, they fall asleep, it gets boring, it's too heavy-handed.
Totally.
But if it's all on the surface, what's the point, really?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and that's something that I have a tendency to do sometimes. So it'd be nice to have that balance.
All right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And you were kind enough to send us an awesome submission video. If you guys want to check out Katie's submission video, go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/lalalandtalk. And for those who haven't been listening the last couple of weeks, how this is going to work is we're going to have all 6 co-hosts finalists in. Katie is number 2, and for the next 4 weeks, we're going to be having the other 4. And then beginning on December 23rd at midnight, our viewers are going to vote. We're going to post all the submission videos and all the co-host segments up on Facebook, and you're either going to like the co-host segment or like the submission video. Only one of those will be counted, so one or the other. And the total sum of the submission video and the segment is going to be added up, and whoever has the highest total at the end is our new co-host.
Kind of like American Idol.
Yeah, kind of, except without the whole elimination thing.
And I don't have to sing.
Yeah, exactly. Makes it a lot easier. Do you sing?
I do sing.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I do musical theater. And for a while there, I was teaching voice lessons privately. I studied for a long time.
Well, maybe we'll ask you to sing a little ditty with Brett later on in the
I'm
show.
frightened.
So thank you so much for submitting.
Yeah.
And, we'll have fun today.
I'm excited to be here.
Good stuff.
I can't wait to chat with the very interesting human beings that we have here today.
Me too. Let's tell our audience about those human
Okay,
beings.
let's tell them.
First, we have with us Cindy Marie Jenkins, who is a storyteller and outreach professional. We have Rachel Stahl, a social media marketing professional. And we have singer and singer-writer.
Actor-composer,
Actor,
no?
composer.
Yes.
He kind of does it all. Brett Ryback. And we're looking forward to talking to them as soon as we get back from the break. So we will be back on La La Land. If you have any questions for our amazing guests today, make sure you give us a call at 323-247-7443. 323-247-7443. We'll be back on La La Land with Brett and Katie today on LA Talk Live.
Hi, this is Susie Pruden. And yes, you've seen me on Oprah, Good Morning America, and The Today Show. And I'm inviting you to join me every Monday from 3 to 4 for my new show, Mastermind Live. Join us as we introduce you to the new thought leaders of the world who will inspire you, support you, and guide you to your next level. So don't forget to tune into Mastermind Live exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream TV. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hey everybody, this is Richard Carr inviting you to join me in the radio boardroom for the new Entrepreneurs Weekly Summit in my all new day and time. That's right, the new Entrepreneurs Weekly Summit is moving to Mondays at 5 p.m. Pacific. So don't forget, the new Entrepreneurs Weekly Summit, now Mondays at 5 p.m. Pacific, exclusively here on LA Talk Live, where it's more than just talk. We'll see you there.
Yeah, it's your boy Young Laps, Larry the Legend. Hanging with my cousins. Hit me up on Twitter, Lapsay4. Hit me up on Facebook, Larry Houston, like Miss Whitney. Rest in peace, though. Exclusive, LATalkLive.com, Mondays at 8. Hit them up on Ustream TV too, Mondays at 8. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasures, babe. LA Talk Live, every mode to talk. Whoa.
Hey, are you spending your time or are you wasting your time? Well, kill some time hanging out with Michael Collier, Brooks Jackson, and the whole crew at the Michael Collier Morning Show. I Get Up Late. That's every Tuesday, 3 until 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you don't know what that is, you better get on the internet and look it up. And while you're there, go to latalklive.com and check me out.
Hi, this is Demetrius.
And I'm AJ, inviting you to join us every Tuesday at 5:30 for our all-new show, Real Talk with Demetrius and AJ.
We are your alternative to mainstream media's non-discussion of the real issues. No more sound bites, no more talking points, just real talk.
The guests on our show will include a wide array of people from all walks of life, elected officials, politically active celebrities, young leaders, and most importantly, you will all be included in this dialogue that is sure to be provocative and real.
So don't forget to tune in and listen to Real Talk with Demetrius and AJ every Tuesday at 5:30, exclusively on latalklive.com.
You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, and now Stitcher Radio.
Or watch and listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure.
This is LA Talk Live.
And we are more than just talk.
Welcome back to La La Land on LA Talk Live. I'm Brett Chapin. That's Katie Sabira Rubin.
Hello.
And we're talking today with social media marketing professional Rachel Stahl and storyteller and outreach professional Cindy Marie Jenkins. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
So, Cindy, I'll start with you. You've done the show before. You kind of know how we work around here. Tell us a little bit about what exactly it is you do with your. We'll start with the outreach, maybe.
Sure.
Yes.
Well, what exactly it is I do? That's been a 3 or 4 year long question.
It's a broad question too, I know, but kind of try and sum it up if you can.
Well, that's why I use the term storyteller, is because I'm definitely a writer. I've been a director, and as I started really digging into outreach, just realizing that it's all about stories, and so many wonderful organizations and theaters have these stories that happen in and out of their building every single day, but people are so busy doing it that they don't really have the time to tell them in a way that attracts more audience. So in a real nutshell, I'd say that's what I do.
Okay. And you do a lot of work with various theaters in Los Angeles, 24th Street Theater being one of them.
Yeah, 24th Street's been fun. I started with them last August as we were gearing up for their 15th anniversary season and really working on moving the whole image from, this really cool place that a lot of people have either been to or heard about, and they have a wonderful arts ed program, but this season that they've created, and we're halfway through now, is really geared towards making it a sophisticated and wonderful theater available for the whole family. And that's something that I really love about it, is I go and I can invite anybody, and they'll often bring people back to see it that they feel need to see these stories. And it's a family feeling when you walk in, even if you've never been there. And they've just been so open and wonderful about different ideas and different possibilities, because they actually have been doing the groundwork with their community that I usually am really adamant that theaters specifically do, instead of kind of just staying in just the theatrical presentation mode. So that's been so much fun. And honestly, I could have 5 blog posts a day, 5 videos for them a day with all the amazing stories that come in and out of that building. So I have to restrain myself, actually.
You've got a ton of stuff up on CindyMarieJenkins.com, right?
Yes.
And also YouTube.com/the CMJ stories.
Yeah, those have been really fun. They actually started back during the Hollywood Fringe Festival, right when I was trying to figure out how to give different artists coverage. I knew that I wouldn't have the time to really interview and write in really meaningful articles for different companies. So right at that time, Google Plus allowed their Hangouts to be broadcast directly to YouTube. And I kind of jumped on it and learned how to do it pretty quickly. It's pretty intuitive once you do it the first time. And basically, if you have a webcam and you have a Google Plus account, you can get up to 9 people, I believe, on a Hangout talking about whatever topics. And I would just do it to talk about their shows and introduce people in this, over 250 different presentations during Fringe, so they could kind of figure out where they wanted to start with going to see the shows there. And from there, now I've just been really experimenting and figuring out which programs attract people, which programs really help artists. I'm finding that sometimes the one-off interviews aren't that interesting, but Funding Fridays, where if you have a fundraiser or you just generally want to get people to know about how to help your organization, that's been a really fun one. And Outreach Nerd, which Rachel has been a big part of, on Tuesdays, and just live streams of different speakers and events. East LA Rep has been wonderful they have office hours every Wednesday, and then they invite special guests like Louis Alfaro, who is, if you ever need inspiration in the morning, you just need to go put on some Louis Alfaro, because he will get you going no matter what mood you're in. He's amazing.
Nice.
So those live streams have been all over the Hangouts, which has been a lot of fun to figure out and just to bring the stories of theaters to a larger audience.
Excellent.
I have a question. May I ask a question?
Of course, you're the co-host.
Okay, great. Hey, I have a question.
Sure.
Cindy, so as I mentioned to you before, the words that you're saying now, all the words that you're saying, which are lovely words, most of them I don't know what they mean. I'm a person who's very technologically slow and clueless on a lot of levels. So I'm fascinated by everything that you do because I don't understand it at all. And but I'm a person who feed, stream, Twitter, it all sounds like German. What's a tweet? I don't know. Streaming, I know there's video involved. That's the best I can do. So I'm fascinated to understand, first of all, and I chatted with you a little bit about this off the air, but how did you learn the depths of the social media stuff that you know when, in my mind, social media kind of emerged for me out of nowhere. It just happened. I was emailing people one day, and then I was supposed to know about Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, and that all happened. And then there were experts all of a sudden who knew things about how this all worked. And I just want to know how you become an expert in such a thing. It seems to, it's such an emerging, growing field.
Well, I was lucky because at the same time that I started understanding what outreach means, I was working in a theater where I was the de facto marketing person because we didn't have a marketing department, and that's when, I was trained initially in just blogging by a great friend of mine, NC, who does a really great job with her clients and work, and at the same time that I was working in a small theater, I was also getting involved in, Lord help me, local politics and neighborhood councils, and realizing that they had the same issue, that if you didn't know someone directly involved, or you weren't actually involved yourself, either in theater making or the neighborhood council, then you rarely knew anything that was going on. And so I started figuring it out. I went to tons on the ground. It's not just social, online. For me, it's the combination of on the ground guerrilla crap and awesome stuff. But because there's so much you can do, and studying just with the elections, studying how successful campaigns were. It wasn't just social, it had to be on the ground as well. And so just, again, it was studying, it was experimenting, it was talking to people as much as possible. I learned more having a big board outside a free movie night for a neighborhood council. I had this board up, and it was just paper on an easel, and I said, how did you hear about this event? And people put, which Facebook groups they heard about it from, where on Twitter they heard it, which friends they heard it from. So I made sure they knew what was going on now.
I think what continues to amaze me is that I've always had a sense of marketing, of how to communicate with humans and sort of express an idea about here's what we're doing and here's the heart of it and come see it or don't or whatever. But when it comes to the sort of elaborateness of the ways that these different social media outlets work, I still am amazed at. I seem to still be finding layers of the depths of the complications of Facebook, for example. Like when you really try to do something with Facebook, it's fantastic for me at the first level. But then anything deeper than that, it becomes very intricate, in my experience. And I is that just a thing that you play around with, and then you just sort of you explore it, and then it becomes familiar, or did you study?
Yeah, Facebook is a whole other program, but it's
okay.
But no, but you're right. There are some really, just kind of basic, I think, guidelines that have been around since the beginning of having to market or sell and get people interested. But with how, with all the different platforms and all the different avenues and all the different audiences, the worst thing you can do is think that the same message will appeal to me as will appeal to you as will appeal to someone 15 years younger. And that's actually one of my newest investigations is why do we, as in theater specifically, why do we have the same postcard, the same graphics that trying to attract people who see those all the time as people who aren't regular theater goers or artists? So it's a roundabout way of answering the question, but there's no real simple, these are ways you have to do it, but there are things with, sites and blogs and, Facebook now, you can't just put one thing up a day and expect people to see it. And it gets a lot more complicated. And how you use each platform is so different. And should be different, but then some of them are very similar, and you're just trying to reach a different audience. So it's actually, it's really sitting down and knowing who you're trying to reach in different places, and what's going to attract them so that it's not the same sort of, come see my show, here's what I'm doing, and every single status update.
Makes sense. What about for you, Rachel? How did you get involved? Well, what exactly is it that you do as a social media marketing professional? Let's start there.
Okay, well, it's a little complicated. I work for a PR agency in Santa Monica, Social Radius, and then I'm also the social media manager for the Hollywood Fringe Festival, which is a fantastic theater arts festival, which is actually how Cindy and I met. So I got involved in social media before it was called social media. I had always done like online gaming, online communities, so for me, that made a lot of sense. Like I was pretty early in on a lot of sites. And
were you on Friendster?
Yes, and my Neopets account just turned 10, so like I've been around the internet for a little bit, and I was dating somebody at the time who was interested in writing and was a playwright and wanted to do a Hollywood Fringe show, and so I ended up helping him out with like a press release and some marketing materials, and kind of accidentally found myself on Twitter, getting to know people and meet people, and the Hollywood Fringe was such a great community. And that first year, it was so much about Twitter and that hashtag, HFF11? 10. HFF10. It's been a while.
Where we met.
But I was trying to like get outreach for the show. I was tweeting about the show. I was meeting people. And then I started putting together events, mixers at bars, mixers at like other theaters in order to like get people who are going to do Fringe coming up together, because the Hollywood Fringe wasn't that organized yet, and Ben and Stacey were so focused on really getting the actual programming down and the venues down that some of the social stuff I kind of ended up accidentally taking over. And so I met a lot of people that way, but I realized that through that festival that I was basically doing tweet ups, that I was doing all these types of social media marketing, and that I was actually pretty decent at it. And so after that show, a couple other people hired me to do some freelance work doing social media marketing. And then I was working with Need Theater for a while as our marketing director. And so I just ended up doing a lot of freelance social media marketing, and then found a job at an agency where I'm at now, and I run basically their entire social media team, and I write strategy and play on the internet all day for work.
Not a bad job.
Not a bad job.
I like that someone once called you a Twitter mistress.
Yes, that would be Cindy.
Sounds kind of goth.
It is a little goth.
You know, little sexy, little goth.
Well, that was NC and I from Bitter Lemons. We were seeing these amazing artists during the first Fringe. That's how I chose all the shows I went to for the first Fringe, are the people who were using Twitter well, because I was kind of in a theater hiatus at the time, and I was like, oh, this is really interesting how they're talking to each other and how I'm getting to know their shows, and thus much more interested because I'm getting to know the artists behind it. And so we did this whole algorithm to figure out who actually was the most.
There was no algorithm.
No, NC and I did math. NC and I did actual math to figure out who's actually most influential from Twitter to audience, and it was Rachel.
Did you find that it had to do with dialogue, like people that were more in dialogue with one another, or more
in dialogue? I mean, that's the thing. It has to be two-way. It cannot, any sort of marketing or sales now, there's some that are standard, but if it's not two-way and you're not actually talking to people, then I'm watching a commercial and I can turn it off or fast forward, you know?
Yeah, you want to engage. I mean, I think that's why that first Fringe for me was so defining, because I had always been involved in online communities, but like being able to take that and put it on the ground again. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was such a big deal, is that, I was meeting really great people because of Twitter. I mean, I met you because of Twitter, Brian at Boston Court because of Twitter. I mean, there was a ton of people who ended up kind of helping me understand marketing from a different perspective, and that whole community aspect was just like something that I really loved, and being able to actually meet people and converse. So when you ask, it's about that conversation. It's about really knowing that audience and really talking to them in the voice they want to hear.
And that's the thing with Rachel too, specifically, and the people who are successful, is they have a voice. I kind of had a strong idea of the personality that is Rachel Stoll before I met her in person, because we had actually talked on Twitter much more than before, when we got on Facebook or in person or anything. So it was so much about actually having that personality and that voice behind it that you wanted to know, and then okay, but that show doesn't sound like one that would be my thing.
Right.
Great, but it sounds like my friend's thing. Send them the information.
I noticed that with this show is we have found a huge amount of our guests just through hearing their voice on Twitter or seeing their stuff on Facebook. It's a great way to get to know other people and build a sense of community, definitely. So I've heard the question a lot, I've heard the statement a lot from actors that they don't want to do the whole social media thing because it's an invasion of privacy. How would you respond to an actor that says that to you?
Good luck.
No, I mean, I've struggled with, I think, some of the privacy stuff a little bit, but I think you're always safer to own your name and own your brand, because then that way you at least know what's happening under your name. And if you're really worried about privacy, then, like my Facebook is only friends, but my Twitter is public. And so what I post to one, I don't necessarily post to the other. If you're Facebook friends with me, you have a whole different experience of my daily life. Than you do on Twitter, because Twitter, it's like I know anybody, including my mom, my boss, my clients, can go and read it. So it's, nothing's private anymore anyway. So what do we care? I mean, everything is open, and it's just about really targeting and understanding that message and controlling it.
And you can, yeah. I see so many people who, I have a different point of view say, when someone like Kevin Clash has an issue brought up against him, the puppeteer. For Elmo, I have a different point of view initially because I saw that documentary, and that was specifically a great, it was a great behind the scenes on puppetry, but you got to know him more. But then you read more things. But he did a really great job of working on his image and letting people know also just the basics behind getting into the puppetry industry as well. But let's talk about someone a little more attractive right now. But when you can have some sort of privacy, you just have to be really careful about which circles. Facebook has the options now. You just have to work on it initially. Or Google Plus, you just choose your different circles that you want to see whatever it is that you want, and that's a really specific choice.
You can use your social media in a different ways, more private, less private. It doesn't all have to be completely public stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice.
I always feel like, for me as an actor, I always feel like it's about self-responsibility, in the sense that if I'm taking responsibility for the information I'm putting out, then I can't go wrong. I mean, of course, I'm not in total control of what other humans say and what other humans do, but I mean, I think if you take responsibility for what you put where, like you've said, this goes on Facebook and this goes on Twitter, I mean, it's kind of the best you can do.
Yeah,
Seems
I
to
mean,
me.
if you want to actually, kind of get the word out about your shows and what's going on and meet people and that, actually meet other people, like, it's a really great way to do it. And you shouldn't just, throw the baby out with the bathwater. I was trying to think of a more current colloquialism, but I couldn't.
but too, I mean, theater, we tell stories about different things. So what gets me is when you go to a theater blog or website or any of their accounts and they're only talking about themselves, or they're only talking theatrically, whereas they have this amazing they have all of these amazing stories to draw from, and that can attract other people. If you're doing a show about alcoholism, or about, I'm going to go see how I learned to drive tonight, and that's a really, really difficult subject that's part of that play, but they reached out to the community and they are actively talking about what that story deals with. And so that attracts more people to see the show, because it's not go see a show. A lot of people who aren't actively involved in the arts need to they really want to know what it is that you're going to express to them, what experience they might have. And so talking about yourself all the time isn't that interesting.
Have some variety. Yeah, make it interesting, definitely. How do you think theater in LA is different than theater in other areas of the country? You are both
I've been asked that question so many times.
Heavily involved in it, so you can speak to this.
I think theater in LA is different because of, and it's such a fucking cliche, but how spread out LA is, right? I mean, we all have different neighborhoods, and goodness knows I will not drive out to the Valley to see a show on a Friday night if I don't want to, because it's just so hard to get that geographical space. And I think that there's so much bad theater in LA. I'll say it. Like, there is so many bad actor showcases.
Good for you.
So much bad improv.
Saying it out loud.
I have seen
no one that's been on this show.
No one in this room. But like, I have seen so much bad theater. I think that, and it's in every city, but I think here it's so much more because you have so many more people coming here to stake a career.
True.
Yeah, but then it's hard to find. Again, it's back to like that parallel with the neighborhood councils, is there's so much theater going on, yet I had a chat with someone who works in development, and she said, why is it so hard to find a new play? Like, I'm not interested in seeing Shakespeare. I want to see the hot new voices. And I'm like, well, there are lots of theaters that do new plays. And she goes, okay, great, tell me. And we just listed some, and it's because I don't personally read a visual arts blog every single day. So Bitter Lemons or LA Stage Times are great for artists, but very, very rarely are non-artists reading these. And so that's, again, something with your stories. You can reach out to other communities and the people who are talking about what stories you're telling. And that's part of why, I think that's part of why there's a lot of bad theater in LA, and how but in general in the country, we're having this issue of just staying secluded and staying inside literally our black boxes and not, you don't have to reach out to the community in such an extreme way as someone like Cornerstone, but which is an awesome thing, but that's totally their thing. Their style, their way of working. That's been a fantastic community outreach and arts creator for, I don't even know how long. It's been years. Amazing work. But there are just simple ways you can really just get more people to appreciate the arts by actually getting them inside and really, really inviting them.
So important.
Yeah.
So important.
It's an issue Facebook has trapped us into too, because, oh, great, you can blast it out to friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're going to see my shows anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't you also think, I think too, with theater's such a community-centric art. It's communally created. It's for the community. I mean, initially theater is supposed to, say something to the community about something that matters. But in LA, trying to understand what the LA community is, because it's so big and so spread out and so dynamic, I think. And again, being new here, I'm still getting my feet wet and trying to understand exactly who I'm speaking to and which communities need to hear. What do they need to hear? Because, when you're thinking of marketing, it's nice to think about what's missing in this room that I can provide and how do I communicate that. So in LA, with the market being so saturated with so much theater, we've got that problem to contend with. And then there's the issue of what is the LA community?
Yeah, it's a weird dichotomy because we're saturated with theater, but only if you're in theater are you saturated by theater. Because you get outside of that theater circle and people have no idea. It's like CTG, Pantages, it's all and that's great. And we have a need for that too, but it's so hard to get new people into mid and small theater.
Where can people, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, where can people find information about the both of you? If they want to find out more about Cindy Marie Jenkins, they can go to cindymariejenkins.com.
Yep, or I'm almost always on Twitter if you're there at Cindy Marie J.
Yeah,
Nice.
Twitter for me at Rachel Stoll or rachelstoll.com.
Very nice. Thank you so much to the two of you for coming in and talking to us a little bit about social media and what you do in the LA theater scene.
Thanks for having
Thanks,
us.
guys.
Yeah, it's fun.
Nice to meet you.
So we're gonna quick transition over to Brett Ryback, who is going to take us into the next commercial with his song "I Must Be in LA." We got a camera on him.
Well, no, we don't have a camera on him yet. You gotta.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Wow, I was so amazed by that conversation just now. I gotta get back into my mode here. Hold on.
The sun on my face, it's shining its beams. It's dirty and warm, this must be a dream. The people heading to work are wearing sandals and suits. Girls in bikinis are smiling, saying, baby, you're cute. I've either died and gone away, or else I must be in LA. I'm blowing kisses hello to all the famous and rich. The boulevard is my home and TMZ is my bitch. There's a sign on the hill and there are stars at my feet. I'm watching Elvis high five the trannies walking the street. I'm either seeing Judgment Day, or else I must be in LA. Wait, I don't know what I'm saying. This is not who I am. This is not what I want. I belong in New York. Everything I've ever known is 3,000 miles away. But relax, take a breath, think of something in the park. It's okay to move on, and besides, look around. If this is your new life, you're gonna be okay. Not a care in my mind, just a head full of sand, kicking back with the waves, the tangerita in hand. A feeling this hot just couldn't be cool. So when I'm sick of the beach, I'll go act by the pool. I'm either living a cliche, or else I must be in LA. I must be in LA. I must be in LA.
Nice. We'll be back on La La Land on LA Talk Live.
Holy crap.
I'm starting over again.
Hi, this is James Kinney from Kinney Group Creative, inviting you to join us every Thursday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for our all-new show, What Catches Fire. We're going to be discussing the love, life, and politics of the American brand. So don't forget to tune in to latalklive.com every Thursday from 2 to 3 p.m. exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, and now Stitcher Radio. Or watch and listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hey, this is Lady J, inviting you to join me every Thursday from 4 to 5 p.m. for my all-new show, Lady J's Wild World of Sports. Join me as I highlight all entities associated with sports, from athletes, trainers, referees, and even actors that have portrayed athletes. Okay, so don't forget to tune in to Lady J's Wild World of Sports exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch me on iTunes Radio R&B or watch me on Ustream.tv. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk, okay?
Hey, what's up, people? It's Jennifer Tapia from StarCam. You guys might know me from the red carpet, catching up with all the stars, but guess what? We're bringing the red carpet to the radio right out here on LA Talk Live. I'm going live Thursday nights at 6 p.m. We got hot topics, celebrities, and much more. We were featured on Chloe Lamar on E!, Howard Stern, T.I.'s Family Hustle. You know how we do. So check it out on Thursday nights, 6 p.m. All things Hollywood, everything celebrity. StarCam Radio?
StarCam Radio? StarCam Radio!
Oh yeah, follow us on Twitter at StarCam Radio.
This is Brett Ryback on LA Talk Live with Say Something.
You and me, standing on shifting ground, breaking dawn, morning's on its way, no reason then to stay, unless there's room to save the day. So won't you say something fast, say something before it's past, say something, say anything, I'm listening. Here I can see promises meant to be. This isn't what you planned, but look at what's at hand. The time has come to take a stand. So go and say something bold. Say something let them be told. Say something, say something, say anything. I'm listening. We're not just a watercolor forgotten in the rain. We're not just a melody with a meaningless refrain. Let's make the walls come crumbling down with the echoes of our pain. We're not here to entertain. No more silence. My heart can't take it. If love is violence, then let's go make it. Make some noise and make some music. Just make our choice. Don't be scared of the sound of your own voice. Say something real. Say something, say what you feel. Go storm the street, start a fight, stomp your feet, raise your voice up to heaven and say anything. I'm listening. The world ain't gonna wait and see. I'm listening to show them what we're gonna be. I'm listening even if it's only me. I'm listening.
Nice, Brett.
Thank you.
Hang out over there, because I'm gonna ask you.
All right.
I'm gonna ask you a favor before we even get to talking to you.
Here we go.
You're
What's
amazing.
a favor?
Can you do one more song for us?
Absolutely.
Go right into it. Is your next one is
Yeah.
Let Go?
Sure. Yeah, you want to do that? Okay.
Yeah. Since you're over there, might as well stay and hang out. You're awesome, Brett.
All right, here we go. Back in the right key. Okay, here we go.
In your mind, you.
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna go to in your mind. It's girl's key.
In your mind, you make the girl. You can see her clear as day, and you know exactly how she's gonna feel. So you pray for her to come, and while you wait, you waste away. And in the end, all you find is that the girl in your mind ain't real. Stop pining, stop whining, don't play those games. Send all your expectations up in flames and give up, give over, give in. That's the moment your life will begin. Life will teach you all you need to know. You won't be let down. Let up and let go. Let go, let go, let go, let go, whoa, whoa, let go, let go, let go, whoa, whoa, let go, let go. In your head you have this fear that you ain't got what it takes, and a tiny voice says dreams do not come true. So you wallow in your woe, and while your heart completely breaks, you never realize, hey, the only thing in your way is you. Stop shaking, stop quaking, don't be a joke. Send all your hesitations up in smoke, and give up, give over, give in. That's the moment your life will begin. Notice as your courage starts to flow, you won't be let down. Let up and let go. Let go, let go, let go, let go, whoa, whoa, let go, let go, let go, whoa, whoa, let go, let go. Life doesn't like to be locked into one person's plan.
love doesn't know the intentions of woman or man. Open your mind and your heart and let fate be your guide. Sit down, shut up, and just go along for the ride. Maybe this sounds really simple, but baby, it's true. And simple as though it may sound, it's much harder to do. But this is the same kind of magic as night into day. You wake up, you open your eyes and get out of the way. Just give up. That's the moment your life will begin. Chances that were small are gonna grow. You won't be let down. You won't be let down. You won't be let down. Let up and let go.
11:50 in the morning, 12:50 in the morning, folks. There you go.
Very nice. Thanks, Brett. Come on.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Come on over here.
All right.
Let's do this. Oh, okay. Well, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back with Brett Ryback on La La Land on LA Talk Live.
Fantabulous night to make romance neath the cover of October skies. You know the leaves on the trees are falling to the sound of the breezes that blow. And I'm trying to please to the calling of your heartstrings that play soft and low. You know the night's magic seem to whisper and hush. You know the soft moonlight seems to shine in your blush. Can I just have one more morning dance with you, my love? Can I just make some more romance with you, my love? Well, I wanna make love to you tonight. I can't wait till the morning has come. And I know now the time is just right, and straight into my arms you will run. And when you come, my heart will be waiting to make sure that you're never alone. There and then all my dreams will come true, dear. There and then I will make you my own. And every time I touch you, you just tremble inside. Then I know how much you want me that you can't hide. Can I just have one more moon dance with you, my love? Can I just make some more romance with you, my love?
Welcome back to La La Land on LA Talk Live. We just heard three awesome songs by singer, songwriter, composer Brett Ryback. And if you have any questions for Brett, we're going to talk to him a little bit. Make sure you give us a call at 323-247-7443, 323-247-7443. Thanks so much for joining us, Brett.
Oh my God, it's a pleasure to be here again, back on La La Land.
Yes, La La Land at the new place.
Yeah, at the new place, much closer to my home.
Good stuff. We
Easier
planned
drive.
it that way.
Awesome.
I know, right?
So last time I tried to get you on the show,
Yeah.
you were out of town and you're doing some amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Tell us what you've been up to.
Well, I was gone over the summer. I was actually working in the Bay Area, which is your part of town. I was at TheaterWorks doing a new play called Upright Grand, where I got to play some piano as well as do some acting, and prior to that I was at South Coast. It's like a year of new work for me, which is so funny. Somebody was saying about like it's so hard to find new work. It's like I feel like I do nothing but new work in LA, which is great. That's definitely what I love to do as a creator. But I was at South Coast Rep premiering a play called Prince of Atlantis for their Playwrights Festival, and then since I was back in town after the summer, I've been hopping around doing a couple workshops of new plays. I was just at CTG doing a thing that they're doing at the Douglas in the spring called The Nether, which is a really great play that's going to come up and actually kind of interestingly enough, deals with not social media, but the internet and where we're kind of going with it and how we live more and more of our lives in that realm. So, yeah.
And I should say that if you want to find information about Brett, you can go to brettryback.com, BRETTRYBACK.
Yes, A-C-K. Everybody thinks it's Ryback.
Like Teresa Ryback.
Oh. Exactly, right,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
The world.
Or, so I found out recently, because I Google myself a lot, that, and I can tell where people like find my webpage, that a lot of people are looking up, well, at first it started with Ryback Naked, and I was like, why are people like looking that up? I'm just curious. And apparently there's a wrestler, like WWE or whatever wrestler, whose name is Ryback.
Huh.
Like that's his thing. I actually have his photo as my Facebook profile right now. And a lot of people would be searching for him, WWE wrestler, and they would come to like my either my Facebook or my Twitter or my my website, and they like follow me, which is awesome. I love the exposure, but I just can't help feeling like they're really disappointed because I do not talk anything about like what I perceive. But maybe there's like a lot of musical theater loving wrestling fans as well.
It
You know,
could be, or
it's
you're
really,
creating a new genre.
I could be
Crossover world.
and wrestling is so theatrical already, like as it is. Like it's really just
It's
it's
a thin line.
It's a tap shoe away from a production number.
It's a
You know what I
thin
mean?
line.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So so that but and apparently there was like some thing that he'd like taken naked photos or something. So people were looking for that.
When I Googled you, I got all these hits for Ryback shirtless. And I was like,
Well-
what's up with this guy? But then I found you and it wasn't you.
Well, yeah, but Ryback shirtless. I don't know if that came from the wrestler, but I also I've done a lot of plays recently where I'm not clothed, like and one of them in particular was last year or 2 years ago now. I did a production of the Lieutenant of Inishmore, and I was hanging upside down shirtless, like having my nipple cut off. And then I wrote a blog post about this guy who does all of his blogs, like his web things, shirtless. And I was like, gosh, that sounds so fun. So a lot of people like that. Those two words have kind of become connected.
That's interesting because I didn't see any of that.
Oh,
And
you
I-
didn't?
No,
No.
I saw
Oh,
all the wrestler guys.
Yeah, well, he's now huge, which kind of sucks for me. I got to just start creating more content, I guess. But I wanted to just say about the conversation that was happening earlier, because as an artist who I am totally with you, like in terms of like feeling overwhelmed by social media. But the way that I look at it, or I've tried to look at it recently, is that like because I write, that it's an extension of my writing. It's like it is content that I am creating, and therefore it kind of I don't feel so like, oh my God, people are going into my private life, because it's like that'd be like saying, please don't see my plays. Those are like my private life.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or whatever. And I think that, a lot of artists can look at it that way too, is that this is an extension of what they are already doing. Just it's not in a proscenium or on camera. It's like on the internet.
I think you give up a certain amount of privacy when you decide to be a performing artist.
Yes.
I mean, that's
what
with the
bugs
territory.
me when actors are like, I don't want you to know things about me. And I'm like, really? Because it might sell your show that you're doing in front of thousands of people.
Yeah.
Really?
Or just put your voice out to the world and allow people to decide, allow people to come to it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's part of it too, is that people don't want to be judged.
Yes.
And it's like, you know what? I mean, welcome to being a person.
Yeah.
Who's A, a person, and B, in the public eye. You're going to be judged.
I saw a sign yesterday outside of a haircut place on Abbot Kinney that said, you're going to see your relatives this weekend for, the holidays, and they will judge you, and we can help with that. That was their, ad campaign.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple things. I'm still on the nipple cutting off thing a
Yeah.
little bit in my head.
Uh-huh.
That's a little
Really?
weird, but that we can do that in another show. I don't know. That's a whole hour on that. But you were working on something called the your own show. The
The Kid with the Keys. Yeah, that one. Is that what you mean?
The Innkeeper's.
Oh, Tavern Keeper's Daughter.
Tavern
Yeah,
Keeper's Daughter.
right.
Yes.
Which is the last song that I played is from Tavern Keeper's Daughter, and that I forget where it was the last time that I talked to you, but I was in Milwaukee earlier this year, and there was a really great presentation, sort of a staged workshop, staged reading of it that was super, super successful. At two theater companies co-produced it in Milwaukee, and we filled this beautiful jewel box, 300 plus seats theater, and got a great reception. Yeah, and so now I'm just trying to get other people interested in it and get it around. And I've started working. The other one, Say Something, is from my latest work that I'm sort of in process with, which is a new musical that deals with Americans and Iranians during the Iranian uprising in 2011, the Day of Rage protest against their government stuff. And I'm definitely interested in, like, somebody brought up Cornerstone too. I'm interested in getting, like, the people that don't, like, go to theater, and particularly the people that aren't, like, even on social network. I think it's also a presumption that, like, oh, everybody's on social network,
Right.
and there's a lot of people who aren't, and we should be telling their stories too.
Mm-hmm. I just want to know how you manage your time, brother.
Oh, well, I
You're a
don't.
Busy man.
Is it? I was gonna ask you. This is a question I have for you. Sincerely, like, are you the kind of dude who goes like, okay, for 2 hours we're playwriting, and then for 2 hours we're gonna audition for things, and then or does it
Kind
all
of.
just kind of flow?
It flows, but it is. You
have to organize it
I
a bit.
do,
Yeah.
and I've gotten to a point where there's always room for improvement. There's
Mhm.
always room for improvement.
That's definitely how I do it. I have to block off little chunks of
Yep.
time, and then sometimes I think, like, am I the only person in the world sitting in my room, like,
Yeah.
dividing my life
No.
into hour by hour?
And I will say
segments?
the hardest thing for me to do is to get online and just market, like,
Ugh.
and just, like, tweet and just do, because it's like I feel like I should be doing other things,
Mhm.
but it's an important aspect of it nowadays.
I hear you.
Nowadays, I sound so old.
What's coming up in the future for you? What are you working on right now?
This new musical is a big part of my life, and I actually just started to write some on-camera content that I'm very excited about. Next week is when I'm hoping to release this, but I just shot this web spoof a couple weekends ago that I'm very excited about. It has some musical theater stuff, but I don't want to, like, talk about it too much. But it is a spoof of a movie that just recently came out. It's like a trailer spoof of a movie that I'm hoping that people will find very entertaining, and I will definitely let you know about it when it's all edited together and ready to go. But
Fun cool. times.
Good group. Yeah.
You're gonna put that up on BrettRyback.com?
It will absolutely be on BrettRyback.com. I'll put it on Facebook. I'm going to post, like, the platform will be Funny or Die, and then I'll just link everything through that so that we can hopefully get some people to like it and see it. Yeah.
Sweet.
Perfect.
I have a musical theater question for you.
Sure.
Do we have time?
Yeah.
So, Spelling Bee.
Yes.
You did Spelling Bee.
I sure did.
Where was that again that you
The
did that?
La Mirada.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Yes. By the way, your resume is what I would like to do. You have
Isn't
you
it?
have the most
Isn't
enviable.
it the best resume?
You've worked in all the cool places ever in all the cities that exist. So well done.
Thank you.
But so Spelling Bee, I have a big love for Spelling Bee.
great
now, but
show.
a lot of musical theater friends of mine, because I'm kind of like, my musical theater approach is like, it's all good, it's fun times, we're singing.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
Yeah.
I don't get too cerebral about my musical theater.
Sure.
But a lot of people do, and musical theater people in particular get on me about that show because they
Why?
think. They say that they're like, there's nothing there. What is it? It's an excuse to sing songs. And I'm like, have you seen other musical theater
Yeah.
ever? That's what musical theater is.
That's funny. I mean, I feel obviously I think it's important to have messages, and it's important to be, to do things. But I also think that a lot of that comes out of telling a really good story. And I think that Spelling Bee tells a really good story
I do
about people
too.
coming, being awkward and weird
Yes.
and breaking through that and using that
Yes.
as a strength.
So compelling.
Exactly. And it's that's right, I said it, fucking brilliantly put together and so funny. It's so funny
I
that I don't,
agree.
I
I know,
hate is gonna hate. Hate is gonna hate.
For real. I think, it's also so nicely ensemble-y.
Oh, yeah.
It's so ensemble-y, and you get
Yeah.
to see all the different forms of awkward kid that
Yep.
we all were.
Yep.
So maybe it's the people who had no awkwardness who are hating on Spelling Bee.
Or maybe they really had an awkwardness and they're still living it.
Maybe that's it.
Right now.
Maybe they're in delusion land.
Exactly.
Well, good. I'm glad you're on my team.
I am.
I'm gonna tell you, my other board members at Theater Palisades are gonna love this conversation because our next auditions are for Spelling Bee.
Oh.
coming
Yay!
up.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's a great show. I encourage everybody to go and audition for it.
Yes.
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 TheaterPalisades.com for any information on that. Putting it up next year.
Good.
Yeah.
You'll have a lot of fun with it.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm gonna audition too.
Good. Very good.
Good stuff.
Nice. I have another question for you, Brett.
Hit it.
Brett Ryback. But we do have to acknowledge publicly, I think, just for a moment, that we're double breading today.
Yeah.
Can we just discuss that?
we have the same birthday. How
Yeah,
weird
isn't
is
that crazy?
Too much.
It's
Too
yeah.
crazy. I'm a little
It's like
blown
Freaky
away.
Friday.
Yeah.
Wait, when are your birthdays?
July
3rd. Yeah.
Crazy.
Really crazy.
And we both have two T's in the name, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
There it is. So some kind of kismet time-space continuum thing is
Is
happening.
meeting right here.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
We're all
Yeah.
probably going to blow up in a few seconds.
Could
It
happen.
just shouldn't happen. But I have a theory.
Okay.
And I want to be, proven wrong if I'm wrong.
Oh, all right.
But I'm curious. My theory about you, Brett,
Uh-huh.
having researched you a little bit
All right.
for the last day,
Yeah.
is I bet my theory is that you had really loving, warm, awesome parents.
Uh-huh. Well, they're listening right now, so
Now,
I will say yes.
So I'll state the full theory.
Yeah.
That's part of the theory. Either that's the case or totally the opposite of that is the case. That's my theory about you. Clearly, you can't really answer that question because I've totally put you on the spot. But
No, I will say that my family growing up, they really encouraged, like, not, I wouldn't even call it like encouraged me, because that sounds like they were like, you must be in theater. They were my parents like doggedly drove me to, like, I had an agent in Chicago, and they would like drive me to Chicago for like commercial auditions or whatever, and they encouraged me to just kind of do whatever it was that I wanted to do in the theater community, which was just a lot. I was very self-motivated. I mean, the minute that my mom was the first person to kind of introduce me to theater when I was really young, and I developed that hunger for it, and I wanted to keep pursuing it, and I was able to keep my grades up, and my parents just never said boo about it. And that, I think for that, yeah, I mean, they were the most supportive that you really could ask for. I mean, it was like, I want to go to college to study music, and they were like, sure.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That
Yeah.
right there. I mean, we could talk. Everybody's
Yeah.
parents have their
Yes,
issues,
yeah,
but what
yeah.
I'm saying is, it's apparent to me when I look at your website that somebody said, "Go,
Go, yeah.
Brett." Yeah.
I will say it was very funny. My
Parents.
mom, like the day I graduated, I'm now 22 or whatever, 21 years old, and I've like gone this far just like pursuing this. And like the day I graduated, my mom calls and she's like, "So just so you know, Starbucks offers benefits." I was like, "Really?
Yeah.
Now?"
Now? Right.
Come on, Mom.
But they've been very supportive in that way.
That's
so,
really great.
Yeah.
It's really great. Yeah, because I mean, in my own personal experience, like in order to juggle all the balls we all end up juggling as creative people, you have to constantly be, and your song spoke to that so well. You have to constantly be dealing with the voices that say you're a lunatic and you're crazy and you better give it up and get a real life, like a real person with a house with a fence.
Yep.
And we have to battle that and push through it. And so for you to be so multifaceted and so in living it out in so many
Yeah.
directions, clearly somebody helped make that happen, which
I
is
think
super cool.
I think I tweeted the other day though that I woke up. Sometimes I'll have those days where you're like, you feel really great, and like the skies, and you're like, maybe I'm not so crazy after all,
Right.
which is exactly what crazy people think.
Right.
So
right. You gotta watch out.
yeah,
I
it's thin red line.
Very true.
Agreed.
Actor, writer, composer, Brett Ryback. For any information on Brett, you can go to brettryback.com. Got anything else you want to say before we head off the air here? Say hi to Mom or something.
Hi, Mom.
Thanks for supporting
Thanks for
me.
supporting me.
Nice.
And Dad and Melissa. There you go.
Nice. And Cindy Marie Jenkins and Rachel Stahl. Thank you both to you for joining us.
so much.
And co-host finalist number 2, Katie Sabira Rubin.
Yay! Clapping.
This segment and her submission video will be posted on December 23rd at midnight. So go ahead and vote for your favorite co-host. And you'll have until January 1st at midnight to do so.
She's got my vote.
Yay!
Yeah, mine too.
Brett. Thanks,
Best
guys.
co-host.
Next week, we are going to be talking with Joy Meads of the Center Theater Group. We have guest co-host Peter Miller joining us. And we have somebody else who I need to look at the calendar here to remember. We have Jameson Haas, of course, from LA On Camera. Until then, I'm Brett Chapin. That's Katie Sabira Rubin. This is La La Land on LA Talk Live, and we'll see you at the top.
Bye.
Bye-bye.